Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Last Maximize Monday episode of the year. We made it. 2022 is just about over, about 2 weeks left. So if you haven't finished your holiday shopping yet, better get on that because you have a few days here by the time you're watching this. And start making those New Year's plans too, because that's coming up soon. So if you need to buy tickets for stuff, get babysitters, things like that, better get on that. I personally am staying in New Year's Eve night. We usually do just because A, I don't want to find a babysitter, and B, I'm boring like that. So, anyway, this is kind of another one of our Worlds Collide episodes. You've probably seen Samira before. She's been on Maximize Monday in the past, and she's certainly been on Three Count a whole bunch in terms of interviews and picking pay-per-views and our Christmas movie draft. So, Samira, thank you so much for jumping onto the Maximize Monday chair this time.
Of course, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be back on, kind of talk about where I am now in life.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot has changed for you since the last time you were on here and in your professional career. So looking forward to getting some more details on that. So little different format for me this week, just because instead of doing the goals, the motivators, the wins, it's the end of the year show. I'm not going to be recording over the holidays. So just taking this time to kind of wrap up and talk about, what motivated me throughout the year, what goals I met throughout the year and focus more on the annual side of thing. And as I look into 2023, what I would like to accomplish moving forward. So biggest thing for me was actually this show itself and kind of the change in direction that we took kind of halfway through the year. My co-host Whitney um, had her baby like right in the middle of the year, so that was kind of a turning point for the show. She and I had talked about what we want to do, and the first year of motherhood is one that doesn't afford you a ton of time to take on extra projects like a podcast. So that was kind of one of those things of what am I going to do once Whitney goes off to enjoy motherhood, which she is. I've seen the pictures. She sends me the updates of the little one, and it's all awesome stuff. So what did that mean for the show after she left? Because I didn't want to like just be me every week, just boring everyone with what I do on a week to week basis. So changing things up a little bit, I was able to kind of get people from different industries, not just recruiting, but all walks of life to jump on the show, which is one of the reasons Samira is here. She's going to talk about her industry, what she does for a living, what she enjoys about it. And that's kind of been the focus of the show since that transition happened, is just kind of getting people on to discuss what they enjoy about their jobs, because that's kind of what LinkedIn is for, to talk about professional stuff. And there's a lot of job seekers out there, and looking for a job is so overwhelming that sometimes you just kind of need that direction. You need that insight in terms of what do these people do? Is it something that I could see myself doing? And so that was kind of the focus of the show. And I think that we've accomplished that goal. So not only a goal, but a win. And that's something I look to continue doing in the future with Maximize Monday, is just to continue getting people from different industries onto the show to talk about what they love about their jobs, give insight to people thinking of transitioning to a new career, and tell them what they might like about that job as well. So that's kind of it for me in terms of what I want to do most. Just giving everyone an end of year recap in terms of the show itself. Professionally, you've all kind of just seen what I do through my posts on LinkedIn, jobs filled, recruiting, always hiring for positions. So if you're interested in positions within Novalex, feel free to take a look at my page. My positions are always posted. I'm always more than happy to talk about those as well. So that's it for me. But Samira, a big transition for you since the last time we talked, a change in job. So let's talk about, what kind of sparked that? Was it something that they contacted you and said, hey, we'd like you to do this? Or was it something that you went after on your own?
So the last time you guys actually had me on, I was working like as an intern as like a
Mhm.
marketing associate. So when that came to an end, I was like, okay, like, I gotta find something else, obviously. And of course, like the job search, as you were saying, it could be a very hard process.
Yeah.
Um, I was lucky to find something quickly, not the current job I'm at right now, but it was something, and it was very short lived because they brought me on and then they're like, okay, but we need some a head person, like a creative director. So there went my job, and I was like, okay, so now back on the hunt.
Mhm.
And it was very difficult. I was probably unemployed for like 2.5 months. It was difficult. You would be applying and applying, and it was hard.
Yeah.
So then I got a call because how I got the job previously was through Robert Half, which is like they help people find jobs. And they gave me a call. They're like, "Hey, I don't know if you're still looking for a job, but there was a marketing associate position that opened up
No.
at this company, and would this sound like something you would want to do?" They explained the role, and I was like, yeah, I could like do something like this is different, and I'd be open to it. So there was communication. I had the interview with my former boss. He's not there now. He went and works at another company, but we talked. I had the interview, and I got a call back, I think like not even a day later. Got the job, and I've been with them ever since. It was, I believe, November of 2021. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been there for a year now, over a year, and it's
Nice.
been great. And I went on obviously then full time with them. First, it started out like as a contract, and
Mhm.
then I heard around like it was a 6 month contract, and around like my fourth month is when we started having like the talk about bringing me on, because I also had an offer from another company, but it was for a job in New York, PFL MMA, and sadly that didn't work out. There was different factors, but I'm happy where I'm at right now and working with them and helping them do stuff for our stores and for the company itself.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that a little bit more, just because a lot of people sometimes get scared off by the contract aspect of things. And it worked out well for you. And I've been in contracted positions in the past as well that turned into then full-time positions. I think it's kind of a nice thing for both sides in terms of the feeling out process, because the job wants to see how you perform and how you're going to fit in with the team, but you're doing that for yourself as well. How is the company going to treat you as an employee? How are you going to fit with the team? How's the team align with what you're looking for? So were you kind of hesitant at first with the contract aspect, or have you always been open to situations like that?
I was open to it. I was like, okay, maybe if I take this and everything works well, I see how it is there, and they see how I feel. Maybe they'll be like, okay, we like her, we'll hire her full time. So it was a risk I was willing to take and see how everything worked out. I was like, you know what, why not? And then, like I said, when we got to the point of where we needed to, I was letting them know, and they were telling me, and how they felt about me being there. They're like, we really want to keep you on, and like they loved my ethic. Sorry, cannot talk. But that like made me feel very great that they saw how hardworking I was, and that they really really wanted to keep me, and that like made me feel really good.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So was marketing kind of always the plan for you? I know that you kind of went to school to focus on that. And was that kind of like that was going to be it for you? You had your mindset of marketing was going to be the field, or did you have some fallback plans too if that didn't pan out?
So I didn't actually major in marketing. So what I do here is retail marketing. It is like
Okay.
completely different than like actual regular marketing.
Mhm.
But I went to school for communications with public relations and broadcasting. So it was
Okay.
something kind of completely different, even though I still I do a lot of communication within my job. But
Mhm.
it's like it's very different from what I went to school for. But finding a job in my field, I mean, that could lead to anything. So like you could go anywhere, but I'm really happy being a marketing associate there. I've learned a lot, and I continue to learn stuff like every single day. And you know it's okay that you're not doing something like that's necessarily your degree, like, oh, I'm not doing public relations, and it's fine because I do a lot of communication within my job.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my degree is in education, so certainly not doing that anymore. So marketing is also one of those fields that a lot of people try to get into, and it's a very popular field for a lot of people to get into with varying degrees, not just specifically in marketing, but sales, advertising, like you with communication. So for those people looking to break into the industry, what is something that you have found that has been beneficial for you, or really important for you to find success in marketing that they should try to hone in their skill set to make themselves stand out as a candidate for a marketing job?
Having like some type of experience like with marketing, definitely like found that helped, especially like when I had my internship you
Mhm.
know, that helped because I already like it's like, oh, it was kind of similar. Like I knew like because you're like dealing with people. So it was like I was like, okay, since I had like experience, it definitely helped me get into the job that I had now since I was already like had a marketing position before. And you know, and then seeing what I did in school, even though it wasn't like the same, you know, thing, but still like, hey, you did communications, like how would you apply this like in this situation or in that situation, and how would you deal with this, like so it was like it definitely like helped me knowing because I talk with a lot of people within my job, whether it's like our vendors, our stores, the area managers, like to anybody. So that's like you have to be on top of that, but definitely like some type of experience because it will help you.
Okay. Now to talk about the other side of how you and I know each other. And I talked about this with Jim, who co-hosts Three Count with me, and from podcasting to transitioning to customer support, which he does. You're certainly having to market yourself constantly as what you do within the wrestling industry and everything like that. So do you feel that what you did, as the interviewer, as the ring announcer, commentary, stuff like that, in that industry gave you that boost of confidence, gave you the skills that you need to be successful as well? Did that help you when you were looking for a career in terms of selling yourself on the position?
I believe so. I believe it like helped me, you know, especially like, you know, going to school for it as well. Like it helped me be a better, you know, speaker and better like to be open to everybody and not being like afraid, just not to be shy and just, you know, how to like represent myself. So I believe, you know, definitely also in the wrestling world, it helps me and like it came and took me into my job. And it's nice because I can bring that sense of stuff into my job sometime where we're trying to, you know, do something cool if we're gonna put it on our like own little site and I get to like, you know, pull out my little microphone. Like I get to do that kind of little aspect and bring it into the job as well. So it
Nice.
definitely, you know, it all works in little ways. Like you get to use everything, you know, from school or from wrestling and put it into, you know, the 9 to 5.
Yeah, absolutely. So then the last question I have for you, and it's kind of one that I have any of our guests kind of answer for me. And as someone who went through the job search, and you said about 2.5 months, that's certainly a frustrating and overwhelming process for sure. So a lot of people are still going through that. There's been layoffs recently, people in the market for new jobs. So when you were in that stretch, was there any advice that you received, or anything that you would say to people currently in the job hunt to kind of give them that boost, that confidence as they look for their next role?
Don't be afraid to like reach out to these like job agencies to help you because you know I you'll always hear, you know, stuff, you won't hear stuff back from people or you'll hear no's, and
Mhm.
you know that happens a lot because you're, and I use like also research tools like, you know, your LinkedIn and like all the other, you know, job searching apps. It will help you, and don't be afraid to make connections with those people on these app or like try to, you know, update your resume, just like try and talk to people, make more connections, and don't, like I said, don't be afraid to reach out to these job agencies for help because you never know what you could find within your area that maybe you're not finding online.
Okay. All right. And so then last thing before we end it for the night is, kind of on the other shows, we always give a chance for anyone on the episodes to kind of talk about upcoming projects, things that they want people to be aware of, where they can follow you, where they can find you. I know you do a lot through social media. So go ahead, take some time and plug, where people can connect with Samira and follow along with your journey here professionally and in the wrestling industry.
Well, thank you for having me. So within like the wrestling industry, you can, you know, find me at the It's Samira, and like that's also like my link tree at. So you can like find me on all my socials there, where that's, you know, all my socials are technically towards the wrestling and I post the wrestling aspect, and then on my LinkedIn, it's like more of like professional with the, you know, I add like the wrestling in there as well, like to
There.
show like off my broadcasting side too. So because sometimes I don't know usually what to post about my job and what we're doing, like maybe like when we get done with some major stuff, like that's, you know, stuff I can post on there. Usually I never know what to post.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, Samira, as always, it's a pleasure. I appreciate you always taking the time to jump on the shows with us when you do. I know your schedule is quite hectic, especially now with the holidays approaching. So it's much appreciated. If you're not connected with Samira yet, make sure you are clicking the link in the header here to follow along with her journey on LinkedIn. And otherwise, have a great week. Have a great rest of 2022. Enjoy the holiday season, and we will talk to you in the new year.